Hello, welcome to Fishing, Foraging and Outdoor Adventure.
Today we're foraging for Damsons and we're going to make some really nice jam out of it.
Come on then, let's go. Hang on, let go first.
How will we get to the other one? Jump! Oh, a big jump! Who cares if you get wet? Whee! Which way?
Okay, so it's September. This is my favourite time of year. September's absolutely brilliant for foraging for foods. So this time of year now, the hedgerows are absolutely stuffed full of all sorts. So you can see, here's the damsons I was telling you about. This is what we're going to be after today. There's absolutely thousands of them all over these trees. And you can see all those damsons there are going to make great eating.
Blackberries!
Blackberries, yeah, absolutely thousands of blackberries everywhere. A bit of a patch of really red ones here. It must be a north facing patch. There they are. Hedges are alive at the moment with everything. So these are hawthorn berries. Not particularly nice, but definitely a wild edible. Something I've made fruit leathers with before. So I'm not going into too much detail about these elderberries because I do want to make a whole video on these, but these are the elderberries, which are what I was talking about on the elderflower cordial video. So this is what they've turned into now. I will do a dedicated video to what I do with that, where I make cordial. But just to give you some examples of what's in the hedgerows at the moment. All these acorns here just starting to turn brown. So they're going from this green, you see they're starting to dry out. And then they turn into this lovely brown. Again, another dedicated video just to show you what we can do with these. But yeah, you can eat acorns. Thousands of hazelnut trees all around me, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so if you've ever had Nutella, that's what it's made from, these hazelnuts. Again, I will go into more detail and show you what you can do with these, and I'll give you a great video on a recipe that I've got with these. But just to show you, this time of year everything is prolific all in these hedgerows. Hazelnuts, they're everywhere. All these clusters of them all over the show. Wow, you got loads now, haven't you?
I've got this much. There's too much to in my hand. I can't even count them.
Oh,
you told them with two hands.
We need more. We need a bigger bag, don't we?
I think we might.
Okay, so that's took me about 15 minutes. I got myself a really good amount of hazelnuts there. So take the leaves off now.
Then we've got more spares.
Okay, so the best thing about these damsons is how many there are. They're absolutely everywhere in these trees. There's thousands of them in each tree. Well, the hardest thing is getting them because they're really high. Unlike with the hazelnuts, which are really low and quite bushy, these trees are pretty tall. They're really thorny and spiky, and it can give you a bit of a nightmare picking them. But it won't deter us. Let's have a go. And we've got a bit of an unorthodox method to show you now. You need to be getting loads at a time, Lou.
Oh! Got it! I've got them! There!
Come on, pick it up, Lola, it's fine.
Not many people would want to have them because loads of them have fallen down and people have just been standing on them. Paul's not quite tall enough.
That's it, good girl. That's it, chuck them in. Good girl. And sit on my head. Make it even higher. Oh, go on. That's it. Good.
Can I catch?
Some more.
Yeah.
Oh, you're dropping them.
No, I'm not.
That's it. Good.
I don't think Lola's very tall. That looks pretty.
Bag Lou.
I'm gonna go catching you. I'll try and catch them in my hand.
This is what we're looking for. This is the Damson tree. This is a little branch of that just snapped off then when I was trying to pick some. So you can see they look like little bunches of grapes, little purple grapes. They're not. They're little. They're a small variety of plums. And you can see the outside has got like a dull finish to it. But all that is, it's a natural yeast that builds up on the side of fruits. So if you rub that off, see straight underneath it, it's waxy and shiny purple underneath. Well, it's purple either way, but it's a different colour purple. And like I said, when you make alcohol and stuff like that out of fruits, which you can with any fruit, it's this natural yeast that builds up on the outside that makes the fruit ferment and turns it into alcohol. So
Do I eat these? Am I having alcohol?
No.
Oh, God.
There you go, interesting fact for you. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick all these up and we're going to make something. When you're trying to identify this tree, you know, the Damson tree, you're not really going to be looking for the leaves, are you? You're going to be looking for the fruits on it. But if you're interested, you know, it's better just to show you a picture of what they look like rather than trying to describe them. But these are the leaves of the Damson tree. They look like that all year round. Obviously the fruit starts early spring. It'll be green for most of the year, and then towards the end of the summer, like it is now, we're in late August now, which is obviously
2 more days of summer.
2 more days of summer, yeah. So end of August, this one we're picking them now, they turn to a lovely purple colour, and you want to leave it as long as you can to pick them, preferably just before they start to rot, if anything, because the later in the year that you leave to pick them, the more the more sugar that goes into the fruit, the sweeter they are, the less sugar you have to add to whatever it is you're cooking with them, and the more natural the food is. Yeah, you can pick something in July maybe, but you're gonna have to put that much sugar to anything that you're making out of it that it'll probably be 50-50 fruit to sugar. Do it at the end of summer now. You might just need a little bit just to take the tart edge off it. Do you like them, Lou?
Mhm.
What do they taste like?
Plums.
Plums. Do you like yours, Lola?
Yeah.
Right. Nice.
Mhm.
And if you want the best sign of when these damsons are ready, just look all over the floor and you'll see when they're starting to fall off the trees, all underneath the trees, they'll all be squashed underneath where people have walked on them. So when the fruits are falling off the trees themselves, that's the best indication that they're ripe. And like I've said, these trees are really thorny. So all plum trees, sloe trees, all damson trees, they got all these super sharp points on them. you know, all these kind of, if you're trying to climb these trees, can rip you to shreds a bit. So all these all the way up, and they're not nice when they go on the side of your leg and you're trying to climb a tree. See, everywhere. So just be mindful that if you are trying to get these high plums, high damsons, make sure that you've got some clothing on that's going to protect you.
God.
You'll go lower.
There.
In and amongst all these damson trees everywhere, there are the odd green gage bush. So green gage is really nice. They're a type of plum again. They're, as the name implies, they're green, but they're a lot sweeter, a little bit bigger, and I'd say a lot even nicer than the damsons. But as you can see, there's a green gage there. They've all gone off now. There's a couple up there, but by and large, the green gages have all been gone this year. They ripen a little bit earlier on in the season, so these are probably good in July time. End of August now, we missed them, so not a problem. We're just gonna have damsons. Here's a green gage one. There's only a couple on the tree. As you see, that's what they look like most of the time. I've got a little bit of a purple fleck to them, but as I said, these are a bit past their best now. So there's the damsons that we've got, and just to compare them side by side. The green gage is a bit bigger, clearly green with a touch of purple to it, as opposed to dark purple bordering on black. And I think it goes without saying, I think everyone knows what a plum is, but everybody seems to be covering their backs when they're making these videos, but make sure they're not giving people poor advice on what to pick, you know, the safety and legalities about certain things. But in the middle of a plum, there's a big pip, so if you didn't know that, there's education for you. But I'm sure we all know there's pips in the middle of plums. Don't eat them. They're nice.
Yeah!
A good sized bag of damsons there. That's enough for us. I've never been one for taking more than I need. Like I always say, stuff's here to be took sensibly, and leave the rest for the wildlife. So got maybe 4 or 5 pounds worth of plums there. We're going to go home, we're going to make some damson jam with it. Okay, so back in the kitchen now, we're going to start to make our jam. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've rinsed these out, give them a good scrub, took the labels off, and I put them on a tray in the oven. I'm going to sterilise these. Don't want any bugs or germs being on them. So we'll put this on a nice low heat, about 120 or something like that. Don't want to crack the glass. So here's a nice big bag of damsons. I'm going to give these all a good rinse out in the sink. And I've got a big giant sized pan here. It's what I use to make all my cordials, jams, all stuff like that. We cleaned all these up now, so we've got a big bowl or a big pan full of these damsons now. So we took all the stalks off them, give it a quick wash. You can see this purple the purple yeast that I talked about yesterday, that's still on it, and that's fine to stay on. You don't have to get that off, it will stay on there. And what you do is you cook them. So weigh this out. Okay, so that there is just over 2.5 kilos worth of damsons there, so pretty good. 2,567 grams, so I'll go 2.5 kilos for that. Okay, see it's just starting to heat up now, comes to the boil. As I start stirring these now, all these skins are going to start to pull off and leaving all the fruit from on the inside. All that skin will make part of the jam, and that'll be part that makes all the lovely texture and stuff inside it. Now that is what you call a proper pot. Bigger than my head. Okay, so these damsons are coming to the boil now. You can see all the skins have come off, nearly all of them now. Steaming up a bit here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start to add some sugar. Okay, so here's some of the different sugars that you can use to make a jam. Don't think it's really that important. We'll stick to this jam sugar for today because that's what I've got. It's going to be perfect for the job. Meant to use 1-to-1 mix. I don't think we'll need that much sugar because the fruits are so ripe, and as well these damsons have got a big pip in the middle as well. So even though I've got 2.5 kilos of damsons, there's probably only maybe 1 3/4 kilo of actual fruit. The rest is going to come out in the way of pips. Okay, and as we're making jam, only right that we use jam sugar. Jam sugar, it's exactly the same stuff as normal sugar, except for it's got a bit more of the pectin in it. Pectin is the stuff that you use that's in sugar that gives jams and stuff that kind of elastic type quality to it. So instead of putting it onto a piece of bread and it just going flat a little bit and soaking in a little bit like a puree or something like that, the pectin in this will give it that lovely kind of gel, almost like a gel feeling to it. So there you go, we've got a full bag in that, and that won't be enough, we'll have to add some more. So in that now we've got half jam sugar and half of the golden castor sugar. Both I'm sure will do equally as wonderful a job in turning this bowl full of, or pan full of fruit into a pan full of jam. We're going to give that a quick stir up now. We're going to put the lid back on, and then we're going to give that 5 to 10 minutes to simmer away, and then we're going to come and check on it. Right, now this is up to the rolling boil. I'm just going to use the ladle just to press any of these damsons that haven't burst through their skin. Just press them against the side of the pan. That way all the fruit's going to be out of the lot of them, because what we're going to do later on, we're going to strain this through a colander and get all these pips out. Obviously I don't want to do that with some of the fruit being intact. And I'm going to keep the lid off now as well for the last 15 minutes or so, just to let all this excess water evaporate off it, which will reduce it down nicely, making the jam that nicer, thicker consistency. Okay, so we're close now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if this is ready. So when I'm told to do this, plate's been in the fridge for the last hour, so it's nice and cold. Put it on there. Yes. And see if it's set. Don't seem too far off that. I think I'll give it another few minutes though. Okay, so we'll try again. It's been another 10 minutes. Okay, see this now. You see that now? Hardly running at all now, so that's pretty much perfect. Just push your finger through it. So that's perfect now. Right, so now for the messy part. Trying to get big pan of Damson jam out the pan, through the colander, into the bowl, out the bowl, through a funnel, homemade funnel by the way, just with a 6-pint little carton. Then the jars out the oven without burning my fingers, and then into the jar, seal the lids, all without getting really thick purple Damson jam all over the worktop and Mrs. Hamsley coming home and killing me for making a mess. So let's give it a go. You put that in like that, and then use the back of the ladle just to press it through. All these stones we need to try and get out now. And this is a good thing that it's so thick, because this is how we want it. You don't want jam that's just runny. You want this nice thick gloopy jam, and all we're doing is removing all these pips and stones out the middle. Okay, so here we are. This is the jam, this is what we're left with. This is the good stuff, all the stuff we want, and this is what we've sieved out with the colander. So all the pips, most of the skins are all in there. And now it's time for the taste test. Oh my god, that is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I know I say it every time, but it really, really is absolutely one of the nicest things I've ever made. And I kind of don't even want to say that because I say it all the time, but it's absolutely stunning. 100 times better than any shop bought junk. Sainsbury's Taste the Difference, Tesco Finest, whatever, all of the rubbish compared to that. Absolutely gorgeous, fresh made fruit, picked yesterday off the tree, and it'll all be in a jar within the next 10 minutes. It's gorgeous, you gotta have a go at this, it's so nice. Right, I'd love to stand here all day and keep on just tasting this, but truth is, I've got to hurry because this jam now is hot, but it'll only be hot for the next few minutes, and you need to put it in the jars while it's still hot, because then when it cools down it'll contract and it'll give that vacuum on the top of the jar, and that's what seals it and protects it and stops it going off. So right now I'm going to get these jars out of the oven and start bottling it all up. And here's my little labels. And there we have it, 6 jars of Damson jam, perfectly preserved. That there, in the next couple of hours, that little click button at the top there, in the next hour, as it starts to cool down, will be sucked in, because all that will contract in and it'll be a sealed top then. 6 of these are going to last me for probably, well, a good 6 months, I'd say. 6 jars of Damson jam, all with my own little fishing, foraging and outdoor adventure label on. Pretty cool, something to be proud of. Some of them really happy with these. They're going to last me a good 6 months. Keep them in a larder unit or a cupboard somewhere out in the sunlight and they'll do you great. Okay, thanks for watching our video on fishing, foraging and outdoor adventure. Hope you've enjoyed watching us make Damson jam. It was really delicious.
If you enjoyed our video, please press like and subscribe to our channel. So, see you on the next video. Bye!
Thanks for watching.